You know, I keep a tape of everything around here, but somehow I can't find the time that I recorded Rick Pitino saying that I was his daddy. That was after the Red Sox beat the Yankees in something a few years ago. Louisville basketball coach Rick Pitino joins me now. Coach?
Terry, how are you?
Well, you know, after the spanking you gave me this morning, I'm still stinging.
Well, Jeff Walls and I just told you, you weren't playing against Jim Calhoun and Gino Auriemma in golf. That wasn't basketball, it was golf. And we took care of you and Ron Carmichael and put you to sleep after about 13 holes.
That's true. We were that last 4 holes, we were just marching along thinking, when is this going to stop? And you've become a real chatterbird once you get the upper hand.
I was getting a kick out of Jeff playing so well. That was his first time out, and he shot like 84 at Valhalla. That was pretty good.
He did all right today. You're playing very well yourself. Have you been getting some lessons here now in this little downtime you have?
No, it's actually only my second time out in Kentucky. No, third time, actually. Played the last 3 days and at Valhalla, and it's in great shape, just trying to warm it up for the PGA.
That's what they told me this morning when I walked down to the driving range. One of the caddies said, "Oh, Coach has already been here a couple of days. He's going to kick your ass." That I was already primed, and you did pick the day today for us, so that worked out nicely. Anyway, it was good fun, and I will get you back eventually on that.
No question.
You are a good smack talker. I like that.
We had a lot of fun, didn't we?
Good times aplenty here. And let's jump into a couple of issues. First off, Mango, of course, got arrested. We all heard about that at the Oaks Day. And what I heard mostly was that he walked through a barricade and was told to go back?
No, the person who got arrested originally was this was by the Starbucks out there, and he was getting arrested, and the other gentleman who was with him, Mango was not drinking an open container that was not his, but he should have listened to the officer and just walked on. He didn't listen to him. He was trying to tell him that was their ride, and he should have just, police are, look, they're working 10-hour days, and they're dealing with a lot of drunk people. And at the end of the day, they just want to get home like anybody else. And Mango didn't do anything real serious, but he learned a valuable lesson just to keep on walking, regardless of his ride home has been arrested.
I know you talk to the guys over and over about, what happens in public, and that's just another lesson learned right there. Are there any repercussions for him in the program?
Well, to be honest with you, Terry, like I said, it wasn't his open container. He held it for someone, then dropped it because the other person was trying to give the person who got arrested his phone number so he could call him so he could pick him up. But Mango should have dispersed and walked on instead of trying to plead the case for the other young man who wasn't drinking at all. So he learned a valuable lesson, and certainly he paid some small consequences, but in this case, it wasn't a major deal. He'll pay community service fine, whatever he has to pay, and he'll move on. He's a great kid, Terry.
I know.
And so he learned a lesson that when a policeman says just move on, you move on.
Right. And he's a sensitive kid, too, and I know him well enough to know I'm sure that hurt his feelings. And so anyway.
It did, and I told him, don't buy into the Kentucky-Louisville stuff. You did the wrong thing by not moving on and just move on. Whether the guy's a Kentucky fan, didn't matter. You just got to listen to anybody who wears a police badge.
All right, it's great that Mango's on our team, but I'm trying to decide if you ever had a thought in your mind how you were going to run a team without Montrezl Harrell.
Terry, when I looked at that schedule and what was happening, and Montrezl, without Montrezl, we would have had a real difficult time this year. With Montrezl, it's going to be a very challenging schedule. But without him, it would have been very difficult. With him, I look forward to it. It's great for the fans. It's great for our team. Our team has worked extremely hard, especially Wayne Blackshear. I've never, in my 3 years, seen Wayne Blackshear this devoted to the game of basketball. He's putting in some incredible time. Real proud of him. Real excited for him. And the guys are working very hard. When you can win 30-some games and win the conference tournament, win the regular season, go to the Sweet 16, and you guys are very disappointed. To me, that is a telling sign to where the program has come, and I'm real proud of that because our guys are really paying attention to their skill work right now, and it's only May.
Well, you called out Wayne Blackshear essentially and said, "Son, this is time. This is the time that you show us who you are, who you were in high school when we saw you, and we know he can play." But
Terry, with all people, it's showing up at practice and giving 100% is really not enough today. If you really want to make it in this world, you got to give much more than that. Wayne is one of the nicest young men I've ever coached. He gives you 100% every time in everyday practice, but that's just not enough. You know, like I come in here early in the morning, and who do I see? Peyton Siva. He's in the gym working an hour or two every single day early in the morning. And that's what it's all about. And Wayne's paying the price right now to become a good basketball player, and I'm real excited about that.
So how do you see your front line shaping up with these fellows we're talking about right now, Mango and Wayne and Trez?
If you know, you always go with veterans first, and then if young people can beat them out, so be it. But it looks like it's Mango, Trez, and Wayne, and then Terry and Chris in the backcourt, and then certainly the freshmen will come in, and if any of the freshmen can beat them out, so be it. But you don't know what you're getting yet from the freshmen, and we find that out in sometime in August and September.
And you like that part of the season, too, though, where you get to see if somebody's going to show you they've got animal instincts where they want to go in and try to take somebody's job.
Well, this freshman class is very interesting for us. You know, we're bringing in 6 players. We got a lot of size. And, you know, honestly, we say we're going to redshirt, but who knows? He could blossom, lift weights, and put on 15 pounds. He's very skilled. You don't know what you're getting from the big Norwegian at 7'2". You know, how he's going to adjust to the competitiveness of this type of basketball. You know, and the other guys have all played very competitive basketball in the AAU circuit as well as high school. We know Q since 5th grade. So, it'll be very interesting to see what develops. But we got to push the envelope a lot earlier than prior years, because this schedule is going to catch up right away. You know, when you open with Minnesota, it'll just about their entire team returning. Terry, they're picking us up. It's kind of an interesting trip to Puerto Rico. The private planes arriving in Minnesota, picking them up, coming down and picking us up, and we're traveling together to Puerto Rico to a military base.
I love it.
Everybody's going to be mixing, having a great time going down, and then one team's not going to speak to the other team going back.
But you and your son, that you would not let that get in the way of communication between the two of you.
No, definitely not, dude. But it'll be a very competitive game. This is going to be an interesting one because they'll be very, very good. We hope to be a good team as well, and it'll be a challenging game, opening game of the season.
That might be the craziest flight you've ever been on, the return flight.
It will be. We may have to have the separate going home, but, you know, look, we're going to have it'll be a great game, obviously. It's tough to lose, even though it's your father or your son. It's tough to lose for either one. You feel bad if you beat him because it's your son. He'll feel bad because of his father, I think, but you never know.
Who's bringing the juice in the ACC? Who makes your knees rattle a little bit here?
Well, I think Duke certainly has 9 McDonald's All-Americans. You know, that doesn't always tell the tale there, but you know, Duke and Kentucky seem to be, you know, heads above everybody in terms of talent and what they have returning. But there are a lot of great teams out there as well, and hopefully we'll be one of those. And Wisconsin certainly has most of their players back, so they're going. Those 3, you know, Kentucky, Duke, and Wisconsin will be ranked 1, 2, or 3.
You expect to be top 10 now because you have Montrez back?
We'll be right around there, Terry. I don't think it matters right now. I don't really care about preseason rankings as much as I want to take a good look at these freshmen and see who's going to contribute. I like the 5 guys that we have, and then obviously I think Anton Gill's going to play a much larger role than he did last year, and he'll put in a lot of hard work this summer as well. I'm hoping that Okoye Gal works very, very hard in the summertime. This is when they take big leaps from freshman to sophomore year.
Mm-hmm. And Gill, I've seen him too. He hates losing. I saw that inter-squad scrimmage, and he couldn't talk for a while after losing.
Yeah, that was a good one. We'll have 2 red-white scrimmages. We'll play Bellarmine, and we're going to play a team, Barry, who's very good from Florida, schedule-wise. So we wanted 2 tough teams. We know Bellarmine's going to be very good. We know Barry will be very good. Our 2 red-white scrimmages have to be very competitive. And, you know, like I said earlier, we're going to push the envelope, and normally we want to peak come mid-February, but we have to be ready early in the year. We're going to take a lot of losses, and we don't want that to happen.
What's your new coach bring you, Coach Johnson bring you?
Well, he's a terrific recruiter. I've asked a number of people who they thought was one of the top recruiters in the country, and his name was in the top 3 of 5 different people. and that was good enough for me. He's an outstanding person as well, and we're real excited to have him.
Have you introduced him to the Pitino regimen of the treadmill at 6 a.m. and all that business?
Well, we talked, Terry. I guess you're alluding to the fact that he needs to lose a little weight.
Well, maybe I am.
I don't know if that's politically correct, but since it's a guy, I guess it is. But he's got to take over. He's got to take off a substantial amount of weight. He's already done a very good job already with Reagan on. But it's you won't recognize him by the start of the season.
Beautiful. And David Padgett returns.
David is the director of basketball operations, and we're excited to also have him. For the fans listening, David cannot teach on the court. David's basically handles the academics. He handles the scheduling. He handles all the administrative stuff of team travel. And he can be on the bench, and he can speak to us, but he cannot coach the players.
Gotcha. And I know you're proud of the GPA, the sites you were cited for having an excellent, perfect record, in fact, this week. I know you're excited about that.
Well, Anthony Wright is the genius behind our players. I mean, he works his butt off. He's the academic advisor for our basketball team. 4 years in a row right now, it's been incredible of what he gets out of the players. As much as we believe we get out of the players on the court, Anthony gets the most out of them from an academic standpoint. I'm real proud of Anthony and the players. They've done a phenomenal job for 4 years, and they've reached every academic goal that we set forth for them. And it's just great to see. I love where the program's been the last 4 years, and I think going forward, I'm very excited about it as well. As excited as I've ever been since I've been a coach.
All right, that's terrific. And speaking of academics, I know that your baby, your daughter, is finally graduating college, and that seems like that blew by here in about 3 months.
Yep, and I got one more. Christine, my niece, is going off to Georgetown and following Ryan and Christopher's footsteps, so she's going off to college, and I've got my immediate family done with college, so it's interesting. She's going to be a teacher coming home, and I can't wait for her to get home. We have graduation this weekend at College of Charleston, and it's been an interesting time for her, and getting her back home for me is just so exciting.
All right, Coach, have a good time, and I'm glad you have this downtime to get that golf game. You're about ready for the tour right now, but I will get you back, I promise.
Terry, Jeff Walls and I had as much fun today playing golf, just beating two sharks like that, just two humble basketball coaches trying to get a break in life, and beating two low handicappers like you and Ron Carmichael has just been awesome.
Did you spend my money already?
Yeah, I did. I spent it out at Churchill Downs. We went to lunch today, and you bought lunch. Bought lunch. Thank you, Terry.
I'm glad to be a part of your life. Great talk to you, Coach. Talk to you soon.
Terry.
See you. Rick Pitino.